Good evening, all. In the last session, we discussed about Elastic Beanstalk. Elastic Beanstalk is kind of a platform as a service, which is providing the platform to run our applications. Elastic Beanstalk is a platform which is providing an environment to run our applications. Generally, if you want to deploy the application in the cloud platform, then you need to take care of a lot of things. You need to set up the infrastructure to run your application in the cloud. You need to configure EC2 instances. You need to take care of the servers. You need to configure EC2 instances. You need to take care of the servers. You need to take care of the load balancers. You need to take care of the auto scaling groups, security groups, everything you need to manage on your own in order to run your application in the cloud platform. To simplify your life, AWS provided one service called Elastic Beanstalk. AWS provided one service called Elastic Beanstalk. By using that Elastic Beanstalk, you can easily deploy your application. If you have code ready, then EBS will provide the platform for you to run the applications. Now, when we go for EBS, you will see environment, which is required to run your application. And application you will upload the source code of the project you will upload as a file, jar or war file, and environment tier will be available. Do you want to go with the web server environment or worker environment? If your application is dealing with the HTTP request, then you will go for web server environment. Now, in the last session, we are able to deploy two different applications by using Elastic Beanstalk. So one is PHP application I have deployed by using Elastic Beanstalk, and the second one is Java application I have deployed by using Elastic Beanstalk. All of you practiced both applications using Elastic Beanstalk. All of you practiced both applications using Elastic Beanstalk.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
One PHP application with the sample code and another one Java application we are uploading as a jar file. We are able to set up that with the Elastic Beanstalk. So whenever you go with Elastic Beanstalk, you just upload your code, then Beanstalk will take care of the remaining stuff. You just upload your code, then Beanstalk will take care of the remaining stuff. Clear? Very good. Very good. Then next one, very important topic, guys, that is IAM, Identity Access Management. What is the next topic that we are going to learn in the AWS, guys? IAM. What is the meaning of IAM? IAM stands for Identity Access Management. IAM stands for Identity Access Management. When we create AWS account, by default, our account will be root account. When we create account in the AWS, by default, our account will be root account. When we create account in AWS, then by default it will be root account. Root account will have all the access in the AWS. Root accounts will have all the access on AWS resources. That means full control will be available for root accounts on the AWS resources. Now, guys, in a project, one team member will work or multiple team members will be working in the project. In our team, multiple team members will be working in the project. It is not recommended to provide root accounts to all the team members. It is not at all recommended. It is not at all recommended to provide root account credentials for team members. It is not at all recommended to provide root account credentials for team members. Then how to manage the work in our project? It is not recommended to provide root account credentials for the team members, because in my project, some people will be working on EC2, some people will be working on S3, some people will be working on EBS, right? Different people will be available. So to manage the work for the team members, we are going to use identity access management. Instead of sharing root account credentials, we can create IAM accounts for team members. What is that, guys? We can create IAM accounts for team members. What is the meaning of IAM? IAM stands for Identity Access Management. Now, there are 4 people available in my project. For 4 people, 4 IAM accounts we can create in the AWS. Whatever is required, giving the permission for what they want. Now, go for IAM in the AWS. IAM stands for managing AWS resources. IAM. So what is this IAM? IAM stands for Identity Access Management. You check it. What is IAM in AWS? What is IAM in AWS Cloud? IAM in AWS Cloud. AWS itself is giving the documentation for that. AWS Identity and Access Management provides fine-grained access control across all of AWS. With IAM, you can specify who can access which services and resources under which conditions. With the IAM policies, you manage permissions to your workforce and system to ensure least privilege permissions. IAM is a service in AWS that is offered at no additional charge. To get started using IAM, if you already registered with the AWS, go to the IAM console. Okay, what are the use cases to go with IAM now? By using IAM, we can decide who can access which AWS services in our project. Using IAM, we can decide who can access which resources in our AWS cloud. Using IAM, we can decide who can access what. Who can access what?
Resources.
Who can access what? Resources in AWS cloud. Are you clear with my point now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. All right, guys, now see here, IAM stands for Identity Access Management. IAM stands for Identity Access Management. When we create account in AWS, then by default, it will be key root account. Root accounts will be the having access for all the resources access. Root account means full control over the AWS resources. You can do whatever you want with the root account. Now, but when we are working in a project, company will have a root account. Company will not share the root account credentials with everybody, because you are not supposed to manage complete resources in the AWS. You are a EC2 engineer, then you should access only EC2 service in the AWS for the project, right? Clear with my point? Now here, instead of providing the root permission for all the users, we are going to create IAM. By using this IAM, what we can do? By using this IAM, we are going to decide who can access what resources in our AWS cloud. Okay. Now here we have a sales team. Sales team should access only billing services in the AWS, and there is a deployment team. They should access only few services in the AWS. There is another team who should access only S3 service in the AWS. Like that, who can do what in our AWS, we can manage by using this IAM concept. Use case. With IAM, you can manage AWS permissions for workforce users and workloads. For workforce users, you recommend that you use AWS single sign-on to manage access accounts and permissions with those accounts. SSO teams, every team will have their own access. AWS Identity Access Management, who can access what? That you can decide by using IAM. Now here in this AWS we have so many resources, guys. Now there is a admin team. In my project there is a admin team, and we are having sales team. We are having sales team, and there is a deployment team. Everybody can access every service in the AWS. Everybody can access every service in the AWS. Come on, guys. Deployment team, that is also called as release team. Release team is available. Everybody cannot access everything in our AWS. Now what I will do for admin team, I will give only S3 EC2 access, EC2 service. For admin team, I will give only EC2 service access. For sales team, I will give only billing reports. For sales team, I will give only billing service to do the bill payments. Billing only, I will provide the access for them. And for the release team, I will provide the access for EC2 and S3. Two services access I am going to provide for these people, like that. I can tell them what they can access, EC2 and S3. This team can access both services, like this. Which team can access what service in the AWS? We can manage by using identity access management. Guys, do you understand what is IAM now? Do you understand what is IAM now? Do you understand what is IAM now? IAM is nothing but identity and access management. We don't want to give the root account credentials to everybody. We want to decide who can do what in our account. Okay, now guys, let me create IAM account. Let me create the IAM account now. So go to your AWS. Go to your AWS. In this AWS, let's type IAM. Let's type IAM, identity and access management. Identity and access management. Go to this IAM. Now here multi-factor authentication, guys. Sign in the root user and register multi-factor authentication device for the root user to improve security for this account. What is multi-factor authentication? That means if anybody tries to log in with a root account, we can get one OTP to our mobile or OTP to email. Like this, you can configure multi-factor authentication. Activate multi-factor authentication, virtual multi-factor device, or UTF security key, or other hardware multi-factor device. You can use the multi-factor authentication now, like a OTP concept. You can set up OTP concept also for your root accounts. Now, so my root credentials are there. Can we share root account credentials with other users? Can we share root account credentials with other users? Guys, tell me, can we share root account credentials with other users? We should not share our root account credentials. How can I secure my root account credentials? By adding multi-factor authentication. If I add the multi-factor authentication, if anybody tries to access our root account credential, then we can get a OTP to our mobile, or we can use a device also to get those things. Now, add multi-factor authentication for root users. You can set up a OTP kind of thing. Next one, IAM resources. Users, user groups, roles, policies, identity providers, account settings, like that. There are several things are available. Can I create one user? Click on add user. I want to add one user. Username is, I'm taking it as Raju. I'm taking the username as Raju. Now select the AWS credentials type, how they want to access their account. Access key, enable an access ID and secret key access for AWS application, CLI, SDK and other development tools, or go for password. AWS management console access enables a password that allows the users to sign into AWS console. Auto generate the password or custom password. I'm giving a custom password for my Raju account. Raju @ 123. Username is what, guys? Raju. User password, I'm giving the password as Raju@123. Require password reset. User must create a new password at the next sign in. When user sign into this account, they should create a new password, forcing them to change the password. Forcing them to change the password. Now let me change this password. Yes, I have changed that password. Yes, they can use the same password to log in. Now I am creating a new user with a name called Raju123 or else Raju B, something like this. Raju B is the username, and I am telling the Raju to use a password to log in into my AWS account, and I am choosing some password for the Raju. I'm choosing some password for the Raju. Click on next permissions. Click on next permissions. Now, so do you want to copy the existing permissions from existing user, or do you want to attach existing policies directly? I want to attach existing policies directly. Now, what Raju can do, EC2 container registry full access, EC2 container service, Amazon EC2 full access. Now I want to provide only EC2 access for the Raju. I want to access only EC2 access for the Raju. So these are policies that attaching directly. We can attach the policies to the users directly. That means what they can access. What they can access in our AWS, I'm telling. Raju is a EC2 user. Raju should access only EC2 service in the project. If you want to provide S3 access, then you can give Amazon S3 full access. Raju can access S3 also. Now tell me how many policies I am attaching for Raju. How many policies I am attaching for Raju? 2 policies I am attaching for Raju. One is S3, another one is EC2. I'm giving 2 permissions for the Raju. So total there are 754 policies are available. Now, if you want to go with the groups, you can manage the, you can create a group, you can add the permissions to particular group. You can copy the permissions from one user account to another user account, or directly you can attach the policies for the user. Now you set it EC2. What is the option we have? Amazon EC2 full access, Amazon EC2 read only access, Amazon EC2 role, container, auto scaling. Like that we can give the permission. EC2 full access I have given. S3 permission also I am giving. Amazon S3 full access. Now Raju can access how many services in our EC2 in our AWS account. Now I am selecting new, next review. Now what are the policies available for Raju? Raju B is the username. Password is available. No need to reset the password. He can use the same password. Permission boundary is not set. Okay. How many services that Raju can access now? EC2 and S3. Click on create user. Click on create user. User creation done successfully. Okay, user creation done successfully. Created user Raju. Attached policy EC2 full access. Attached policy Amazon S3 full access. Created the login profile for the Raju. Download the CSV. These are Raju credentials, guys. I have created an account for the Raju, and I have downloaded this Raju credentials. Raju B is the username. This is the URL for the Raju to access our application. Now click on this URL, Raju URL to login. Now guys, see the difference. When you are logging in, when you try to log in with the root account, what it will ask? When you try to log in with the root account, what it will ask? This is my account ID. Try to log in with root user, what it will ask? Sign in using root user email. It is asking only email ID when you go for root user. If you select IAM user, what it is asking? To enter account ID. After entering account ID, it will ask username and password. What is the username? Raju B. What is the password? I have given some password for that. Now sign in. Am I able to log in into my Raju account? Am I able to log in into my Raju account? Go to services of AWS now. EC2 service is available for me. Can I use the EC2 service from the Raju account now? Can I use EC2 service from the Raju account? Yes. Can I go for Elastic Beanstalk? Can I use Elastic Beanstalk from Raju account? Check it. Elastic Beanstalk from Raju account. Elastic Beanstalk, create the application. Create the application. Create the application. Elastic Beanstalk. Is it loading or it is not loading? Why it is not loading? Now, can you go here? Can you access RDS? Can you access RDS service from the Raju account? Can you access RDS service from the Raju account? Now, can we create a database? What is happening? If Raju trying to create a database, what is happening? Is it allowing the Raju to create the database, or it is not allowing the Raju to create the database? Guys, tell me, is it allowing the Raju to create the database, or it is not allowing the Raju to create the database? It is not allowing the Raju to create the database. Why Raju not able to create the database in the AWS? Why Raju not able to create the database in the AWS? Raju is having a permission for RDS service in the AWS, or Raju don't have a permission for RDS in the AWS? Raju don't have a permission. How we are restricting the permissions for the users in the AWS? How we are restricting permissions for the users in the AWS? By using what concept, guys? IAM. By using IAM. IAM stands for what? Identity and access management. Now, let me sign out. Let me sign out. Okay, log back in. How many ways we can log in into AWS console now? How many ways we can log in into AWS console now? How many ways we can log in into AWS console now? 2 ways. What are the 2 ways? What are the 2 ways? One is a root account, another one is IAM account. Who will use the root account of AWS? Who will use the root account of AWS? Owners will use the root account. So in the company, can you use the root account of AWS in the company? Will your manager will provide you root account of the AWS for you? No. Root account will be used by companies to pay the bills and all. That's it. As a team member, which account you will get for the AWS? IAM account you will get for the AWS. So they will give you what services you want to access. What is your work in the AWS? Based on your work, they will provide the access for only those services. Based on your work, based on the work, they will provide you access for only those services. Based on the work, they will provide the access for only those services. Root account will be used by owners. Team members will use the IAM account. How you can log in into the application? How can you log in with the root account? To log in with the root account, email ID and password is sufficient. To log in with the root account, email ID and password is sufficient. But how can you log in into the IAM account? IAM account requires account ID. IAM account requires account ID. 12-digit account ID will be available for your AWS root account. Whenever you create a root account, one account number will be generated, which is 12-digit number. Every IAM user should use that account ID to log in. Now, when you go for AWS sign-in page, you can see those 2 options. Do you want to log in as a root account, or you want to log in as a IAM account? Root account means username and password. IAM account means this account ID. Click on next. Username. Your username is created. Raju B is the username. Password. Sign in. Now I logged in into AWS Management Console using Raju account. Can you see what is the profile it is there now? What is the profile it is there now? Raju. Raju is a root user or Raju is a IAM user? Raju is a IAM user. Raju can access all the services in the AWS, or Raju can access only 2 services in the AWS? Raju can access all the services in the AWS, or Raju can access only 2 services in the AWS? Raju can access all the services in the AWS, or Raju can access only 2 services. Why? Because we have added only 2 policies for the Raju. We have added only 2 policies for the Raju. I have given the access for EC2 and S3. Now Raju can work on only EC2 service and S3 service. He cannot go to RDS because he don't have that policy. Okay. Now tell me, who will create the IAM accounts now? Root user will create the IAM accounts. Root user will create the IAM accounts. Are you clear with my point? Now sign out. Sign out. Now let me log in into my root account. Let me log in into my root account. Sign in using root user email. Okay, this is my mail ID and it is asking my CAPTCHA. Yeah, it is asking my password. Sign in. Sign in. Now, so currently it is displaying my account ID. Guys, you can see your account ID. When you log in into your root account, you can see your account ID here. Now go to IAM. IAM stands for Identity Access Management. Based on this IAM, we can control who can do what in our AWS. Who can do what in our AWS. Go to users. One user is available. His name is Raju. One user is available. His name is Raju. Can I add one more user? Can I add one more user for my AWS account? Username Rani. Username Rani. Password protection. Auto generate password, or you can give custom password. Whatever the password you want to give, you can give for the Rani. Now here require password reset. If I select this checkbox, what will happen? When Rani log in for first time, Rani should change her password. Require password reset. When Rani log in, then Rani should reset her password. Click on permissions. Now, how can we add the permissions for the Rani? You can create a group and add the Rani to a group, or you can copy permissions from existing user. Which user is available here? Raju available. If you want Raju permissions to Rani, you just select it. Whatever the permissions are available for Raju, same permissions will come for Rani. I want to provide few more change permission type. I want to change the permission type, attach existing policies. For Rani, Rani is a database administrator. For the Rani, I want to provide RDS full access, Amazon RDS full access for Rani. Okay, Rani is a DBA. Rani belongs to database administration team. For Rani, I will provide the access for only RDS. Are you clear with my point? And I want to provide the RDS access. And next one, DynamoDB. DynamoDB full access. Rani is a DBA team member. For Rani, I want to provide RDS access and a DynamoDB access. Now, guys, with this, can we set up IAM account with the policies? Can we set up IAM accounts with the policies now? So tell me, what is the meaning of a policies in the IAM account? Can anyone speak out? Can anyone speak out? What is the meaning of a policies in the IAM account?
Set up rules, templates.
Set up permissions that they can have. What services they should access. We are deciding that by using policies. Can we add a policy to a particular user?
Yes.
Can we add policy for a particular user? Yes. Can we add the policies to? Can we add the policies to particular group?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Right. When we should go for a group?
For suppose if we have
multiple users, if multiple users are working on the same thing. Now suppose assume that in the database we have 3 people in the database team. 3 people in the database team. I need to give the same permissions for all the 3 people. RDS full access I want to give for the 3 people. So is it recommended to create 3 users and give permission separately, or recommended to add the 3 users to a group and provide the permission to the group?
Yeah, we need to create a group and
Now take a scenario. In our project, there are 3 people available from the database team: Rani, Raju, Ramesh. Like that, there are 3 people are available in our project. All these 3 people are belongs to database team. Now Raju available, Rani available, and Naveen is available. Raju, Rani, Naveen. All these 3 people are belongs to database team, DBA team members. DBA team, database administration team. What service these people should be able to access? RDS database they want to access. Now, is it recommended to create a policy for every user and attach it? Create a policy for every user and attach it, or create a group and add the users to group and provide the permissions to the group?
Create a group
And give the permissions to the group. Now you understand when we should go for individual user permissions, when we need to go for group permissions.
Yes, sir.
Now we will add these 3 people to one group. We will add these 3 people to one group. We will provide the permissions to the group. We will add policies to group. Then it will be applicable for all the 3 people or not?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
This will be applicable for all the 3 people. Now, Rani account. For Rani, I want to give the access for full RDS access and full DynamoDB access. Full RDS access, full DynamoDB access. No tags, review. So now, what are the policies I'm adding for Rani? Can you see the policy summary? What are the policies I'm adding? Amazon RDS full access. Amazon RDS full access, Amazon DynamoDB full access, and what is another policy? IAM user change password. What is the meaning of IAM user change password?
He or she can change the password in next.
She has to change the password when she log in. She has to change the password when she log in. Okay, click on create user. Click on create user. Now Rani account is created. Can we send a mail for the Rani? Can we send our credentials to an email for the Rani? There is an option called send email option is also available. Now, so now how to log in into Rani account now? How to log in into Rani account now? How to
Get URL.
How to log in into Rani account now? Copy that URL or go to log back in, log in into account. Now Rani is a root account user or Rani is a IAM user account user?
IAM
user.
What is required to log in as a IAM user? Account ID is required or not?
Yes.
So here you can find out that account ID. In your profile, you can see the account ID. When you log in as a root user, if you click on your profile name, you can see the account ID. Every root account will have a 12-digit unique account number in the AWS, guys. Now, so if you select the IAM user, it will ask your account ID. Click on next. What is IAM username? Rani B. @ some password. Sign in. Wow, what it is asking?
Old password.
Is it mandatory to change the password?
Yes.
Why it is mandatory to change the password?
Security purpose.
We added that policy. We added that policy for the Rani. Earlier, when Raju logged in, did we get this screen or we did not get this screen for the Raju?
Did not get
this screen for Raju. Why? We have not added that policy for the Raju. When I'm creating the Rani user, I added a policy, change password immediately. When the Rani tried to log in into account, she has to change the password. Now, let me enter our old password. Let me enter new password. Yes, I'm changing the Rani password. Rani logged in. Change the password. Now, which services this Rani can access? She can access
DPS.
all the services.
No, 3 services only.
Only database.
Now,
AWS, DynamoDB.
can she create a EC2 instance?
No.
No.
Go to EC2 management console. Go to EC2 management console, EC2 dashboard, launch instance. Try to create one EC2 instance from the Rani account. Launch EC2 instance. Now, here I will select all these details. Launch instance. 1 second. EC2 dashboard. Launch instance. Now, see here, guys. What is this? What is happening when she go to EC2 dashboard? What is happening? Errors are coming or not?
Yes.
Why errors are coming? She don't have a permission for those services. She don't have permissions for those services. Okay, what services this Rani can access? What policies are available for Rani? Rani can access only RDS service and DynamoDB. Now, guys, do you understand how to create a IAM user account? How to log in into IAM user account?
Yes, sir.
Now, so IAM stands for
Identity access management.
IAM stands for Identity Access Management. Why we will use IAM in the AWS?
To give permission
to decide which team member can access which service. We can control the permissions of the users in the AWS resources by using IAM. IAM stands for Identity Access Management. Now go to this IAM once again. How many users we created? 2 users. Raju, Rani. Raju can access EC2 and S3. Rani can access RDS and DynamoDB. Now, do we have any group here, guys?
No.
Do we have any group here? We don't have a group. Can we create a group now?
Yes.
Can we create a group now? Enter a group name. What group I will create? DBA team. What is my group name? DBA team. Who I will add to the DBA team now? Rani I will add to the DBA team. Can I give you a permission for the group now? What permission I will give now? RDS full access. I will search for this. Amazon RDS full access. Okay. Now click on create group. Now the group is creating with a name called DBA team. DBA team permissions defined. Go to DBA team. How many users are there in the DBA team? Only Rani is available. Only Rani is available. Can I add Naveen to the DBA team now? Can I add a Naveen to the DBA team now?
Yes.
Yes. So if I want to add the user to the group, can I directly add the user to the group, or first I need to create the user?
Create the user.
First I need to create the user, then I can add the user to the group. So do you understand what is the difference between user groups and users?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now roles available. What are the roles that you want to assign for the user? You can decide the roles. Policies available. What is the meaning of policy? What they can access in the AWS that we can define as a policies. Identity providers, account settings also available here now. So now tell me, change password policy. You can change the password policies. So many settings that are available here that you can manage by using your IAM. Users, user groups, roles, policies, and identity providers and account settings. So first you can create a user account. Then you can add those users to one group. Then you can add the permissions to the group also. Now I am deleting this group. Confirm, delete, enter the DBA team permanently to delete. Now guys, tell me, will there be any billing for the IAM? There will not be any billing for the IAM?
Yes, billing for the IAM also.
Billing will be there. Why billing, man?
Billing in root account.
No. For using, if I create 10 IAM accounts, AWS will charge extra money, or AWS will not charge extra money?
It will not charge.
It will not charge. It is just your permissions now.
Yes,
it is just giving the permissions. Okay. Whatever the services you use, for that AWS is going to charge. If I create a IAM user, is it going to charge the amount for that?
No. It's overall billing.
It's overall billing. It is just for granting permissions for users what they can do. Where you can find out your account ID? Where you can find out your account ID?
Top right corner.
Can you see account ID? For IAM users, you can give the separate URL also. If IAM users want to log in, account id.signin.aws, like this, you can give a separate URL for the IAM users. Directly it will ask account ID, username, password, then they can sign in. So IAM users should have account ID to log in into the AWS management console. Root account user can log in by using email ID and password. IAM account user will log in with account ID, username and password. Is this clear for all of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
So,
sir.
can you practice this before coming to tomorrow session?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it difficult or easy?
Easy.
Easy.
Dead easy.
First we need to create user. and
Just
then
you create the
group,
user
add
and
the
check it. You are able to first create the 2 users, then create a group, add the users to the group, change the permissions and try to log in and try to access the resources and see are you able to access it or not. That's it. It is just an administration task to provide the permissions for the team members in our project who can access what service in our AWS that you can control by using IAM. Fine, guys. Thank you. With this, I'm stopping for today. We'll discuss in tomorrow's session. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye-bye. Good night.